Hi everyone, welcome. It's Monday night, 8 p.m. Eastern, so it's time for Stamping with Denise. I'm so glad you're here. Okay, yeah, I just need to check my settings. So I hope you had a great weekend. I'm going to show you, tonight I'm going to work on a project. I'm going to use some of the last chance items. As you know, Stampin' Up! Has a new catalog coming out in early May, in about a month. And so last week they published their list of last chance items. So these are items that are only going to be available while quantities last. So I thought I'd pull out and use some of my favorites, and I was going to show you a fun technique at the same time. So, a little bit of housekeeping. First, if you like my video, please share my video and then comment shared down in the comments. And then your name will be entered in a drawing to win the project I'm working on tonight. Last time we were together, I made this 5-panel card. So cute, super simple. And this is going out to Linda Jones because her name was drawn. Yay! Linda, I'll get that out to you very, very shortly. Also, if you're watching on YouTube, welcome. If you haven't already done so, please subscribe to my channel, and once you do so, please click that little blue button and you'll be notified whenever I upload a new video, which is usually on Monday evenings. Okay, you remember I said that that Stampin' Up! Had come up with the last chance list. So yeah, so when that happens, there's a big purge in my craft room. So I've got over here behind me, I got one table with all new product on it, and then I've got one table with all of my either already retired, or last chance items on it. And so I don't know if you can see in my shelf right there, that whole section used to be full of stamps, and then I had a whole stack of them on the shelf, and that's what's left. What I have that's not on the last chance or already retired list. So yeah, there's gonna be so much new fun stuff coming in the new 2025-2026 catalog. So I think what we'll do is we'll go ahead, I'm going to change the view to my hands, and we will get started on tonight's card. Okay, so for tonight I thought I would show you how to do this faux twisted paper technique. I did this once before several years ago, and I thought I haven't done that for a while, so we're going to do that again. It's really easy, not hard. And again, like I said, I'm using items that are on the last chance list. So we're going to start with the base. This is Peach Pie. And Peach Pie is an in color that's staying around for one more year, if you recall. So we have 5 in colors that are retiring. Give me just a second. I'll pull out those stamp pads and I'll show you here. Let me see. It's Copper Clay. Let me make sure. Let me look at my little list here. Hold on. Sorry, I meant to have this out ahead of time and I totally forgot. And where's Pebbled Path? I got my cheat sheet here. Moody Mauve. Wild Wheat and Boho Blue. Okay, there we go. So these are the 5 colors that are retiring. And in the beginning, these colors were not my favorites. But I'm going to be honest, I really do like Copper Clay and Pebble Path. I think they're really neat colors, and Wild Wheat has grown on me. So if you like these colors, any or all of them, and there's something you want, I'm going to encourage you to place your order sooner rather than later, because once those items are gone, they are gone. Okay, back to tonight's project. So this is Peach Pie, and like I said, it is going to be around for another year. It is an in color. This is 8.5 by 5.5, folded in half, just like my typical card base. Nothing fancy there. Okay. Then let me see. The cardstock I'm using here, and some of this we're going to put together as we go. This is Summer Splash. This is another in color in the same group of this that has another year left. This piece is, I'm going to get it right, 3 by 5.5. This piece of basic black is 2 3/4 by 5 1/4. So I'm going to go ahead and we're just going to, as we go through, we're going to go ahead and adhere this. Do what we can do now. I just thought this is, let's see, I guess I can go ahead and put this, I'll wait till it's all put together. Then we have a piece of basic white, and this piece is 2 3/4 by 5 1/4, which is the same size as this black, but we're going to be, after we put the strips on here, we're going to be trimming this down, okay? We'll be trimming it down to 2.5 by 5, so it'll fit on there just in that matted format, just like that. Then we need 10 designer series paper strips. These are 1/4 inch, or no, I'm sorry, 1/2 inch by 4 inches. Okay, and while this paper is double-sided, I'm going to use, just like I did, I'm going to use the circles and the flowers. I mean, I could have used the stripes, except that one I cut the wrong direction, but you get the picture. Now this is a last chance item. This is the 24 to 26 in color 6x6 designer paper series stack. And so Stampin' Up! Does this every year. They do one for each of the in color series, and they do one for each of the color families: brights, regals, subtles, basics. And I really like them. They're nice, kind of, I don't know what I want to call them. Simple. They're simple papers, but they're great to have because they are so versatile. So sometimes you just need a little extra pizzazz or a little extra, what's the word? Visual interest. And these papers, while they kind of read neutral, they do add a little bit of visual interest. So I really do love these paper packs. So we have those. Okay, and I think then we're going to go ahead and get to our, we're going to use our trimmer here to do our scoring, okay? And I don't want to take that blade out, but I want to make sure, I don't do it the wrong way. Okay, so we're taking our piece of white. Like I said, it's 2 3/4 by 5 1/4. And we are going to score this at 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 inches, okay? And it does not need to be a heavy score. And if you really wanted to, you could use a light pencil. These lines will be covered up. Oh, you know what, I'm going to have to go up here because 5 is just off the board. So I'm going to go up there and get my 5. Perfect. Now, I don't know, can you see those lines? I think you can. So it's scored at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then I've got this little 1/4 inch here. Okay, so now I'm going to use my silicone mat. And this is great for when you have adhesive that might be going off. You don't want to get your workspace all sticky or gooey. These silicone mats are great. Let me pull it up in here. So what we're going to do is we're going to start with the light color strips. And like I said, I'm going to do it just like this one. So I'm going to use the circle side. I mean, I could use that side, but it's got a little more white in it. I like this one. You know what I'm going to do so that you can see these, just to help? Hold on. I'm going to just put a little mark on these, and it might help you see these lines. Hold on. Like I said, I'm not worried because they're going to be colored up. I don't know if this is going to help or not. But let's try it. I wouldn't normally do that, except I want you all to be able to see it. Okay, so what you're going to do is you're going to start with your lightest color. That's going to be on the bottom. And you're going to take this strip. Like I said, it's a 1/2 inch by 4 inches. You're going to put it on, you're going to rest it on the top. I've got the 1/4 inch extra right up here. Let me see if I can go in more. There we go. Okay, now you can kind of see it. So I'm going to put this piece here right at the top and this bottom right down on the top of the next score line. And we're going to build that all the way down. And I'm going to use my Tombow adhesive glue for 2 reasons. It's easier and it allows me just a little bit of ability to move it around if I don't have the placement, but don't put too much. Okay, so I'm gonna put this here and this one right there. Okay, one down. And we're gonna keep doing that all the way down. And don't worry about what's hanging off. Remember I said we're gonna trim this. So there and there. I have to watch my screen, make sure I stay in the view for you in the field. There we go. There's 3. And like you know, this green glue, while it's a great product, if it kind of oozes out, it can be kind of a mess. So you don't want, like I said, less is more. You don't need a ton of it. And then, hold on, did I do this right? I feel like this is not right. Hold on, folks. Give me a second here. I guess I'm right. I think I was supposed to start the other way, but I don't remember now. Okay. That's okay. We'll get it. It'll work. No big deal. It's not exactly even, straight and even. Let's see. There we go. We are going to, I'm not going to worry about it. It's a little off, but I'm not going to worry about it. And so you can see some of my adhesive is over, and so, but that protects my work surface. Perfect. Now we're going to do the same with the green strips, but we're going to go the opposite direction. Again, we're going to go from here, from this spot to right there. Well, you can't see. Hold on. Right there. Like I said, I think I was supposed to start at the bottom side. Okay, we're going to put this right here. And right there. And we'll keep going. We'll see how this comes out. And maybe there may be a variation. I'll trim that side off. I see a little pencil mark there, but I'll trim it off. So we're going to go from here. Wait a minute, from here to right here we go. Okay. Oh, I did this card yesterday, and sometimes you forget what you did. It's really not hard. Just want to make sure I get everything placed right. So there to right there. Here to right there. And one more. Why am I off here? Okay, we're going with it. It's not how it's supposed to be. But anyway, there we go. Oops, I got a little bit of glue on that. Let me wipe that. I got to get a little piece of paper towel here. I want to wipe that off. And then, because I moved the sheets around a little bit. And then you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to use a tool here that I have. I use this adhesive eraser, which I really like. Stampin' used to sell these. They don't have them anymore, but you can find them in craft stores, hobby stores. Amazon has them. Okay, we're going to cut this up now. We're going to see how we did. So we are going to trim this. Let me back out my camera here. There we go. Okay, bring my trimmer back in. But what I have to do first is I have to trim one side of this. So we have a flat one. I guess I'm going to do this one here. Okay. Now we are going to trim this to 2.5 by 5. So we're going to take about 2.5, a little bit off of this side here. Hold on here. I didn't do it quite right. Hold on. I didn't cut hard enough. Okay, let's try this again here. I cut through the DSP, but not the cardstock. Let me get this. There we go. And then it's going to be 2.5. That kind of looks interesting, like you could do something with that, doesn't it? Okay. And then this is going to be, let me trim this pop off here. Because I'm not going to trim the length from this end, I'm going to trim from the other end. Okay, I'm going to trim from this end, and this is supposed to be 5 inches long. Okay, I'm going to have to go up here on my trimmer. Here we go. Okay. I think we're going to be okay here, even though I put those on backwards. Or not the way I wanted them. So see, it's going to go right like that. Looks pretty good. We're a little off, but I think it's okay. Let me try. Do I like it better this way? Really don't think it makes much difference. I'm going to do it this way. But you all get the idea. Play with it. You know what? What I like is this is only paper. This is not anything expensive or rare or anything like that. It's just paper. If it doesn't work out, no big deal. Just start over. Okay? So, well, not exactly like that. I think we're good. And then we're going to put this panel right here. Okay, put this on here. Got a hair stuck to my adhesive. I got an order the other day from Stampin' Up. There was a big long black hair stuck in the tape on the box. Like, that must have hurt somebody when that pulled out. Oh well. Okay, now we've got the base of our card done. You know what I'm going to do? I am going to go ahead and I'm going to put my embellishments on. This is also on the last chance list, the 2024-2026 in color shimmer gems. As you can see, I have used these to death, but we will just do one more. Get a couple more cards out of this, easy, out of these. And so I'm going to pull one of some of the Summer Splash and put 3 of those. I like doing them in 3 like this. It's especially nice if you're making a more masculine card to kind of put I like on a masculine card putting 3 of them together in a row like this. I don't know. Something makes it read more masculine to me. Don't ask me why, it's just my own. Okay, so now we're going to start on this. First of all, I've got 2 bundles I've used for this. First of all, for the words and this die cut, I've used the Something Fancy bundle. This is one I think I'm going to have to keep because this is a really nice one, and I really like this. I didn't forget your birthday, just stretching out the celebration. So I have already die cut my black piece just because I didn't want to bring my die machine over, and I did it with, I believe, the middle size of these. Yep, there we go. Okay, so we are going to heat emboss. Yay, heat embossing. Oops, I forgot to plug my gun in. Hold on. Okay. So here's my stamp. I didn't forget your birthday. I'm just stretching out the celebration. Who hasn't forgotten a birthday and needed a card? So it's always good to have one of these. Oh, here's my ink. Okay, I'm like, where did I set my ink? So this is Versamark. If you're not familiar with Versamark, it's clear ink. It's perfect for heat embossing. And as I've told you, heat embossing is one of my favorite techniques. It was the very first one I learned when I started Stamping Up back in, or started, you know, attending classes, Stampin' Up events back in like 2002, I think. So anyway, so I'm going to stamp it up. I'm going to ink up my stamp. I am going to go ahead and let me get a piece of paper, and I'll tell you why. Because I can't, the black blends into the black. This will be easier for me to see to place it too. Okay, I'm gonna make sure I get those centered and straight. Sorry if my head's in the camera here. Sometimes you just need that little bit of extra contrast. Okay. So then we're gonna get our white embossing powder. And we're gonna sprinkle it on this wet ink. I'm going to put a little bit more. I didn't quite get it completely on the bottom of Celebration. I just want to make sure that's good and covered there. And this is my using heat embossing is my favorite way to do white words on a dark background. I find it way more, I like the outcome better because it's just a much more solid. Now I'm going to grab my little reverse tweezers because this heat gun gets very hot, and since I've already die cut it out, my fingers are going to be pretty close to the heat. So I'm going to turn my heat gun on. I'm going to start in one area, and you'll be able to see how the embossing powder melts. I leave my gun in one place and I wait for it to get hot. See how the celebration is, and then I just move it around. And there we are. Some people will just do this back and forth and back and forth and back and forth, and I don't feel like you get a good solid melt, so to speak. It's easy to miss a place. So I like starting in one place and working my way across, and then if I have to go back up and go across again. There's one more thing I was gonna say, and I don't remember what it was. Oh well, it'll come to me. But you can see how you get a nice dark image with that. Okay. So now let me get my card. So I'm going to use dimensionals on this side, but this side I'm going to just attach with regular seal because this is kind of thick. There's 3 layers of cardstock there. So I think it's going to work just fine doing it that way. Put this right about here. That looks good. Okay, then my card needed something else. I was going to put a flower on it, and then I couldn't find one I liked. So I remembered about Labeled with Love. It's another last chance product. It comes in a bundle with either 3 of these dies or with a punch that punches this out. Now the punch is staying, but the dies and the stamp set are last chance. Again, this is another one I really like. I like these smaller images. Perfect for, you know, like I could use this one or those or that for Christmas if, you know, I'm doing Christmas gift tags. Anyway, so I decided to use the little butterfly. I have already stamped it and I fussy cut it out. I stamped it on peach pie with Memento black ink, okay? Because then I didn't have to do a lot of coloring or anything. The only thing I did do was use Stella. And I just kind of colored in these spots in the wings to give it a little bit of razzle-dazzle. Now I'm being careful when trying to not get on the black ink because you can smear the ink with the Stella, and that's not what I want to do. I want these lines to stay nice and crisp. And I think this is an easy way to do a little butterfly. Just stamp it on the color cardstock you want. I mean, you could, if you wanted a dark colored butterfly, you could use a light colored ink, or you could use embossing powder like we did here on black. So you'd have a black butterfly with white markings on it. So I think that would be really pretty. But can you, I don't know, can you see the Stella on that? I'm trying to see if we can get a little bit of glimmer. You can see it a little bit. It shows up much better in person. And I'm just going to use a couple of dimensionals and attach that to my card. Using all these ends. I never waste any of this. Okay, that's good. I use all of the edges and everything. Okay, and I'm going to use my reverse tweezers to do this so I can keep my big hands out of the way. And so I am going to put this right here. And I'll tell you why I did that. I wanted the top of the butterfly where I didn't cut it out completely to be on top of the peach pie designer series paper, so it isn't as obvious. If I put it up here on the back of the green, it would have been a little more obvious. I mean, you can kind of see I did the same thing down here. And because this is my other one, and you can see it lands right on top of it, and you can't even tell. So anyway, this is my card. This is the, what I call it, faux paper twisting technique. So I really like this. I hope you'll give it a try, and I wanted to showcase some of my favorite last chance items. Everybody, I want to thank you for joining me tonight, and I will see you next Monday night at 8 Eastern for Stamping with Denise. Bye now.